Got a podcast episode for you today. I was listening to Sports and Fitness Rants this morning while I was jogging. He had another great episode, and I just wanted to add a couple of things on top of his already good points. He was talking about an article that came out apparently saying that LeBron is one of the best shooters of all time. Oh boy. I swear their strategy is to just take the most mind-bogglingly ridiculous crap and say, you know what, screw it. Let's tell everybody that it's the truth. See what happens. So I don't want to repeat too much about what that channel said, but I do want to add, he mentioned LeBron James, would never be in the three-point contest. I just want to say, God, I wish we could make that happen. You know why? Because it's a situation where he's out there alone. He can't blame anyone. He can't claim he didn't have enough help or whatever. His list of excuses is so long, it's not even funny to try and list them. It's exhausting. Actually, they might say like that the wrong music was playing or the crowd was too disruptive or something. But really my point is that he is out there alone. Mentally, that alone would be enough to make him not be able to perform well. All eyes on him, knowing that he can't pass the ball off to someone else, knowing that no one can say that there are these ridiculous excuses for him not succeeding. That's all on him. That's all on him. Same thing with the dunk contest. He doesn't have any problem dunking in practice or, trying to show off dunks when it's a no pressure situation. Oh, we're just having fun here. No big deal. If you're wowed by a few of my dunks, great. But, if I screw up, it doesn't really matter. That's a situation that LeBron James can do well in. And that's exactly why the bubble championship doesn't mean crap. An empty gym. A practice situation, a pickup game situation. The crowd, unless LeBron was worried about what the fake digital faces in the crowd were thinking about him. And again, another example of let's just take something ridiculous and say it. They turn around and instead of just admitting it was the easiest situation to score a title in, they had the nerve to say it was the toughest. It may have been the hardest chip to get. Next, I want to emphasize the type of shots LeBron James is taking, whether those are layups or whether they are his occasionally streaky three-point runs. He's not being contested most of the time, especially on the three-point line. It's like, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you'll have the sun shine on your dog ass every now and then. We're just going to have to live with it because we do not respect your shot. But the other thing is the garbage points. It's not just that LeBron likes to drive the lane and expect a foul call, that he does this against shorter players almost always. And the fact that you're not allowed to intimidate him. You're not allowed to hit him. You're not allowed to put him on his butt like they used to do in the past. If somebody was killing you on the inside, then you found a way to discourage them from coming in. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. So good job, LeBron. You're really brave to drive the lane against people who are not only smaller than you, but aren't allowed to guard you with any sort of real intensity. But we have to talk about the garbage points. It's so weird how many garbage time points he takes. It's so weird that he wants to be the guy who takes them. I would picture a goat kind of hanging back, be like, yeah, that's below me. The game's over with. I'm not going to be the guy who runs in for a layup when the other team is going to get out of the way, because the last thing they want to do is stop the clock with a ridiculous foul call. They're just like, whatever you do, don't stop the clock with a foul call. Don't give them free throws. And those are the moments LeBron James capitalizes on. That's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. And these are all things that would benefit from me showing you examples, but I've done it. I've done it many times. It takes a lot of work, but it's out there. There's ample examples. Maybe I'll work on a long video in the future just showing all of the examples, but for today, this is strictly podcast style. I also wanted to talk about the spread offense. I find it interesting that his ego is so big, he can't even realize that when he talks about bringing in players so that they can have the spread offense, he's basically saying, yeah, I need all of these advantages in order for me to have an easier shot, an easier situation in which I can score. LeBron James, I can't believe this guy is in the GOAT discussion. Because if you break down all the things that are done to try and help him, it's like a father going out to play basketball with his kids. Let's say one kid is 6 or 7, just trying to get the fundamentals going. And you got another kid that's like 11 or 12. And the 12-year-old is playing tough D on the 6-year-old who's just, trying to have some fun out there, barely can dribble and things like that. And the father has to be like, look, to the 12-year-old, say, look, back off a little bit, give him a little space. He's trying. Give him a chance to score here. Give him a little, don't block all of his shots, don't contest everything. Just let him get some confidence. He's trying to learn how to shoot. This is what you're doing with LeBron James. Well, let's get everybody out of the lane. Let's have scoring threats all over the floor so that LeBron James has a easier time driving a wide open lane. Let's have, when LeBron is feeling lazy, let's have LeBron post up out on the perimeter and have our better players draw the defenders away, kick it out to LeBron, who's wide open, and nobody's even going to bother to close on him. And then he still can't make it when he's wide open most of the time. Like, I guess he got his shooting percentage from three-point line up higher this year. Listen, if you're an NBA player and you can only make 40% of wide open three-pointers, you're worse than the guys that I see at the gym. The guys at the gym are having their three-pointers more contested than LeBron James. And yes, context matters. Like Sports and Fitness Rants pointed out, DeAndre Jordan has a higher percentage overall than LeBron James. Are you going to say that he's the best shooter of all time? Are you going to say that he is the GOAT for perimeter shots? Are you going to say that LeBron James is better than Steph Curry? I'll put some facts in here. I'll put some stats. I'm looking at StatMuse right now. LeBron James is not on the page for the most three-pointers made this season. I think there are like 50 players on this screen, and he's not on there. Okay. And yet there are articles being written about him being one of the greatest shooters. So let's look at percentage, not the amount made, but the percentage made. LeBron James is currently number 25. That's quite an upgrade for him. Is it number 1? Is it the best? It's number 25. And that's with him taking relaxed, standing there, waiting for the ball to come to him or a step into three-pointers. It's not high intensity, high stress three-pointers. But regardless of what type of three-pointer it is, it's number 25. How are you writing an article about someone being the best three-point shooter when he's not even number 25 in his best season three-point shooting? One more thought on that. The amount of forgiveness LeBron James gets is unlimited. He was the bottom of the barrel of the league the last 2 seasons, and that's just forgotten about. Like, even if he was number 1 this season, if he got number 1 for 1 season, do the seasons where he was at the bottom not count anymore? Do they not offset each other? Do you not average that out? No, with LeBron, you just look at the one time that he did anything good and forget everything else. But let's not lose sight of the fact that LeBron's overall shooting percentage is helped by the fact that he takes most of his shots right next to the rim. And I used myself as an example in previous episodes. I started with layups. I'm more of a shoot next to the rim guy, especially at the beginning when you're learning. Would you consider me a great shooter for doing that? No, you think about great shooters as the guys who are out on the perimeter or in the mid ranges or the fadeaways, things like that, not layups. Let's see. Uncommon Sense had a good point this morning too that I just want to touch on. What was that? Oh, it was about LeBron James and his bag. And not even just the fact that he is accused of not having a bag. Then he, on that stupid podcast, claimed that he was bothered by guys using their bag for one-on-one situations. LeBron James seeks out one-on-one situations when, and only when, it's a smaller defender. And then he uses his lack of bag in that situation. I'd rather see someone with a bag in a one-on-one situation than a bagless person in a one-on-one situation. When you got to fucking shove your gigantic ass into little old Chris Paul or Steph Curry, and there's no double team, and you just keep shoving yourself backwards until you're right next to the rim, you don't have a bag. And this is what LeBron does over and over and over again. Unless, of course, he's actually scared of the smaller defender, and then he'll pass it out last minute. That's going back to the 3-point thing. How often does LeBron James hurt his shooting percentage by being the guy who takes a low percentage shot, by taking the clock's running out, or I'm going to shoot it from the other side of the court because there's 1 second on the clock, attempts a half-court shot, attempts a full-court shot, attempts a three-pointer falling out of bounds because there was 0.4 seconds on the clock. No. Other people take that shot. Steph Curry takes those shots because he's not worried about whether or not people think he's a great shooter. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry feels confident that people consider him to be a great shooter. I'm pretty sure Steph Curry considers himself to be a great shooter. Steph Curry hurts his shooting percentage by taking shots like that all the time. LeBron James's teammates have to hurt their shooting percentage by taking those shots because LeBron's not going to. So again, all these different ways to help this guy look better. Kind of embarrassing. And one more thought on the bag. I know LeBron fans were upset that people said he had no bag, and they point to highlight reels that LeBron James can score. Okay. Do you think that given a little bit of effort, myself or anyone couldn't put together a highlight reel of just about any NBA